This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
You got some new faces. They've dealt with some preseason injuries, not necessarily in-season injuries. Those two things are kind of different. You know, when you get like Kentucky the other night, they hadn't had a chance to practice without Robin Benton. Florida's had a chance to kind of build their identity around their players, and for the most part have had the same core nucleus of kids all season. They always present us challenges with their combination of athleticism and size, which they have again. They'll start two kids, 6'3", between 6'3" and 6'6", and have got athletic guards. KK Dean's new to the league, but playing very, very, very well. Rimdahl back, Ricard's back, know what it's all about. So I think it's a great matchup. Couple of days of preparation for them. Very impressed with, the job not only that Kelly did last year in taking over, but, now in her first full season, her team has a clear identity. They have a clear style of play, and they obviously play very hard for them.
All right, Ethan.
Hey, Coach. First question I have is just, it seems like really on Sunday, there was a lot of timeouts that it was just completely player-led. I just wanted to ask, what's the impact of being able to just turn it over to the players in timeouts and let them kind of sort it out?
If it's not their team by this time of the year, then we haven't done our job. We try to get in and manage and maybe point them in the right direction. But, if we haven't gone through the Christmas break is an awesome time for basketball teams because all we get to do is just basketball all the time. We don't have class. We don't have a lot of community service things. There's just not as many things pulling at our kids in different directions. So that's usually when teams really start to develop that. Not all teams ever do, but this team has. I think they've learned to talk to each other, listen to each other. And again, I've always said it's better if it comes from within than if it's a coach saying it. They're more believable. They are the ones out there doing it. They're the ones in the middle of it. So I think it's important that every team have it. And I'm glad that our team's starting to show it. We're not there yet. We've still got things that areas we can get better, but starting to show good signs.
And then kind of on a similar page, I've noticed this year a really popular seat whenever a player goes to the bench is right by Sasha. And I just wanted to ask what's been her, has she kind of taken on another coaching role within the team?
I think it's just kind of happened. It's not something that's assigned. We haven't said, hey, go sit with Sasha, but I think she's always got a unique perspective, having been there and her, she doesn't really have a dog in the fight either. I think it's easy to, not easy, but it's easier to provide feedback when you've been in there and you're not one in there right now. Sometimes if it's player to player, if, they're going to look at him and go, well, you just turned it over. What are you telling me? Well, Sasha hadn't turned it over yet that game. So her insights are unbiased. I think they're a lot of times maybe unfiltered even a little bit, which is good for players to hear. But yeah, that's a common theme, especially, I think with our veteran kids that Sasha played with.
And then Kelly Ray, last year kind of got thrown into, just all of a sudden into the role, but it seems like her players really bought in pretty fast and it's carried over this year. Just what have you seen from them that you think, I guess, what's she done well? The
carryover, she has established herself as not their interim and not their assistant coach. I think that first year when you're thrown into the interim, you get a little bit of an automatic pop. You just get that, but then you've got to earn it through what you do during the off season and then lead into the preseason. So she's obviously maintained that. She was a head coach in waiting already. I think any of us, if you would have polled coaches with maybe 10 years experience, I think Kelly's name would have been at or near the top is ready. And she's made the most of her opportunity, but she's continued to put her own stamp on things. She didn't just do what she's learned at different places where she was at Harvard with Kathy or at Arizona or different places she's been or working for Cam. She's truly got an identity that is hers. They do take on her personality, which is very calm. I think she's I wish I was as calm as she was in my second year. I think she's portrays a very confident, calm way about her, and I think her teams play that way as a result.
Yeah, that's all that I have.
Got it.
Thank you. Christina?
Hey, Coach. You guys obviously opened SEC play with a pretty disappointing day on offense, but how do you feel like you guys kind of got right against Kentucky?
I thought we took the best shot selection that we've had all year. Not just in lately. It was our best shot decision making. I think sometimes you have to get punched in the mouth to see it. You know, we've been winning, so you know you show it to them on film, you talk about it, but hey, we still won. So those shots sometimes carry over. But when you get smacked like we did, sometimes it takes a good butt whipping like that to say, hey, maybe that shot I took, and collectively, if all 8 or 9 people say that, then that's 9 better shots we take. I think if you look at the shot selection, it was so much better. And against a team that forces a whole bunch of turnovers, we didn't even let them turn us over the average number. We had too many for us, but I thought our shot selection, we really shared it. We had a possession where all 5 people touched the ball. When that happens, we try to save that clip, and this is the first time I think that's happened all season. So maybe the loss helped in that way. It was a little time to all of us do a little bit better. Me calling more actions. We put a new inbounds series in that had Aaron throwing the ball inbounds. And when we first started diagramming it in practice, she said, Coach, I hadn't thrown the ball inbounds ever. You know, I said, well, I think you'll be good at it. And she was. She had 7 assists. So now everybody's fighting over inbounding the ball. So I think, too, Christina, this is the time of the year where we start to kind of strip away rather than add. All preseason, we're adding things. And now you kind of start to strip things away and do less better. We had more focus in practice on fewer things, and I think that carried over. So that's going to continue to be the case as we go through the year, and hopefully it shows like it did. Kentucky's a really good defensive team. If they hadn't been a good defensive team, I wouldn't be as confident. But they are a good defensive team and have been, not only in the past but especially this year. So for us to do what we did up there, I know they were a little bit shorthanded. I factored all that in, but we still did. We played much better on Sunday than we did the Thursday. But you know, each week's going to take on a new identity with your opponents. And with this week, you know, same thing will be the case with Florida and Missouri.
And then I saw Michaela's getting pretty high on the list of all-time starts with the program. Just when you look at her career on the whole, how has she kind of changed each year, and what is she doing differently or better now than she has before?
Yeah, I think her superpower is that she hasn't changed a lot. You know, she's been steady, and a lot of times steady gets maligned and doesn't get its proper respect. But I just think she's been very, very consistent. I do think she's become more vocal. You can see it in her reactions to situations. I think she knows now the impacts that every possession can have. So she's become a better student. She was always a good student of the game, but she really thinks on the floor now. And she thinks past that first move into the next move and beyond. I do think she's learned to really recover. She used to just be this, hey, I'm young, I can do it. And now I think she understands the value of recovery. But yeah, the career starts thing, you know, when we got her committed and signed, we knew we were going to have a point guard, a quarterback controversy immediately. We really did. We had good players here, but we knew what we had coming in, and she just came in ready. I've always said her parents did a great job of preparing her to be freshman. And as a result, I can't imagine playing a game without putting her number in the book.
And then last one for me, Jersey had to take on such a unique role last season, kind of unexpectedly, and now her role's a little bit different. And how is she doing with that change, and what do you guys need from her for the rest of this season? Just
a lot of what she's doing, that versatility. It's like having a second freshman year, you know, and I said this to somebody, I think I was talking to the talent for the ESPN prep, but like the cool thing about Jersey is we didn't recruit her with a 4-year plan like a lot of the colleges did. They went in, hey, this is what we're going to do with you for the next 4 years. We kind of laid out a 10-year plan because I still feel like her best basketball will be beyond us after she's been the same size for a few years. She just now stopped growing. So there's time for your body to catch up. So we gave a 10-year plan, and I think we're at or ahead. She's now, last year she learned a position that I think she's going to have to learn to play at the next level some. And then this year she's getting back to her more normal. And then I think the plan, if we get to stick to it, if she stays healthy and doesn't grow again, we're going to get to make Jersey her type of player, not compare her to somebody else or anybody else that's ever been out there, and play a kid in her 3rd year that's played both spots. So if you've spent time with her, that she's a delayed gratification kid. She gets that. She's not into the immediacy, the recency stuff. She's looking at it 10 years down the line. And but for us, we need exactly what she's been doing. She's been coming in, giving us 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 25, depending on the game. And the matchups where her size on both ends impact the game. She's so much improved defensively. She can guard 1 through 5 and not flinch, and not many people can do that. She just got to get more comfortable being out there on the perimeter. It's hard to be her size and have little kids underneath you trying to take the ball from you. It's really hard. So that's where I'm saying next year, you're going to see an attack that's specific to her, not necessarily she being specific to the position.
BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.